Oh my god, the host just triple slapped me.
You see whose food running today?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.
Just that. Just,
Yeah. Just a vaguely deep sigh. It's your turn, bitch.
all right. Welcome back to Rolling Silverware, everybody. I'm Bunny
I'm Kat. Did you forget your name for a second?
for a hot second. I'm like, who am I? I'm Bunny. That's Kat. And this is our post-shift shit talk.
Yeah, post-shift shit talk. We haven't worked together really too much this week, but yesterday you took the day off, which was devastating
to you.
Yeah, apparently.
It broke her in so many ways.
According to our GM, it really did.
A Friday night off is not ever something that Bunny comes by. And so...
Are you talking to yourself in third person
can,
now?
why
You
not?
fucking weirdo. Okay.
Fits the vibe.
No, but yesterday, I don't know what it was. It was yesterday and a little bit today. I didn't get the same feeling like right away, but yesterday I walked into the building and I had a fine day, right? I did nothing. I sat around. I played Dress to Impress. I watched some Black Clover. Like, it was all great, right? The day was fine. And then the minute I walked into the building, I just screamingly angry. I wanted to yell at everybody. I was so mad.
It was that super moon.
Maybe it was.
you,
Yeah, it
it
was a
was
super moon that's in
It was
Aries.
that super
It's- yeah.
Aries full moon that we had apparently just fucks people up.
I was just so angry, and I tried really hard to hide it. I was vibing with my guests. I was getting great tips, and all of my guests were really nice, and most of my coworkers were really nice. I think what set me off initially was I first walked in, and they were seating me a table before I gave them my little, clock in.
Right,
Chit
our little
thing.
chit that we have to fill out again now.
Yeah, let's clarify, chit.
Yes.
C-H-I-T.
C-H-I-T, our
not
little
shit.
chit. I mean, it's bullshit, but that's different.
Right, but it's something that, across the concepts is something that they've always done. 'Cause
Right,
when
it
I
is
worked,
standard. We should be filling these out.
Yeah, when I worked at the
So-
fine dining location, it was the same. We had those little clock-in things that we had
Right,
to
so
get signed
a
off.
little paper prints when we clock in, and it gives us like a list of things that we have to do before we're supposed to be getting tables. So as far as like you check your section, and you make sure you know that all your tables are good, and you make sure you know what the
You've checked the daily news to make
right
sure
what
that
the
you're
news
up
is
to
for the
date.
day, as far as like what different specials are, what we have available as far as different plates go.
Yep.
Just kind of get yourself settled in and
If
ready
anything's
to
86th, that's
right, yeah.
that's
If
gonna be on the
anything's
daily news
if
as
anything's
well.
crossed out for the day, we should know.
Yeah.
So these are things that we should, in essence, be aware of before we start our shift.
Yes.
And this has very rarely, in 4 years of service at this place, been something that we actually do. It's always just you clock in and, oh, by the way, you have 4 tables. Like,
Yeah.
Why?
Fly.
Shut up. That's for you. And so you and I talked about it, and it was like, yeah, that's probably not going to fly. Like, most of the time we're going to walk in and, are you going to let the host know? Are you going to tell the host that you literally can't seat me until I hand you this signed by the manager piece of paper, right? Because they don't follow that. Any of even when we didn't have to have a paper sign, they didn't even follow your clock in time.
Yeah, they were just seating your section and hoping that you would be there soon.
And their reasoning was, well, you're always here. Yeah,
Yeah.
what if I'm not? Like, what if I got in a car accident today? Or, like, God forbid I called out and nobody told you. And now there's just a bunch of fucking people waiting for a server that doesn't exist today. Or anything. Anything could happen,
Yeah.
Like...
And, I mean, I at one point, not yesterday, but I have had a situation where I, clocked in and immediately the GM walked up to me and she was like, so you're going to get this table outside. I've already greeted it. Da, da, da. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me about this before you've even signed my thing? Looked over
why
my
is that for
uniform,
me
like,
if we haven't spoken yet?
Right. And so, like, yeah, even the managers definitely kind of, not always take that very seriously to heart, but they will try to at least, like, greet the table, get them bread, get them drinks, and get them, initial things that
Started.
the table's gonna, they'll get the table started before you've turned in your chit. But the entire point of the chit is like you walk up, you have a manager look you over first, because if something is, say, wrong with your uniform, or you know what I mean, like something isn't correct and you need to be sent home.
Right.
Now, you know what I mean? Now you have to find a completely different server for this table.
Right, for these tables that have already been set.
Yeah, and standard, of course, is, you know, that we are now meant to be seating our first table. How am I meant to be doing that when you've already greeted the
sat me 3.
table? Yeah, and so I came in yesterday, and the host, it's the girl that's been with us for like 8 years, couldn't hack it as a server, so went back to hosting. She
laced with attitude, everything she does.
Yeah. So she is seating me a table before I even clock in, and that just set me off. Because I was in that mood, and I was not okay the second I walked into the door. But I was like, whatever, we're just gonna let it go. This is where we are. Like, this is just the place. Like, of course it is. Yeah.
Whether we wanted it to or not, here we are.
So I keep going throughout my shift, and at one point I have like 5 or 6 tables. My lounge has 5 or 6 tables, and it's just us. Nobody else is on yet. And I looked at the manager, and I was like, hey, so just a question. Are we only caring about standards when the regionals are around, and then when they're not around we're just doing our own thing? Because if that's the case, like, let me know. Like, if that's the standard, I just need to know what are the rules of the games that we're playing right now. Because
I can follow that. I just need to know what I'm following.
Exactly. And he goes, no, absolutely not. What are you talking about? So I tell him, and he goes, okay. Apparently he walked up to the front desk, and hostess hadn't assigned the tables to us. So when people were looking at the tablet, it didn't say that we had 5 to 6 tables. It just said that we had 3 or 4.
Right.
Because she wouldn't assign these tables.
So they were just floating tables.
They were floating tables that weren't assigned, like, in the system. And, like,
and quick look, you're not going to think, oh, who has these other tables? You're just going to think they must be taken care of by somebody maybe from the morning or this or that.
Right. So she was, like, actively trying to get around, you know, the system and, you know, management and stuff to try and, you know, get these tables sat so they weren't sitting around waiting for servers, which, like, I don't know, I guess I see both sides of it, because you have a completely empty restaurant, only 2 servers on, and you don't want to have a 20-minute wait. You know, she doesn't want people yelling at her about a 20-minute wait.
Right.
When they're looking at literally an empty restaurant.
And they're like, well, I see 7 tables in my eyesight.
Even more than that.
That you can sit me at.
15 and an entire patio that's completely empty. Like, can I just go sit down? This is ridiculous.
Right.
So I get where she's coming from, but also, like, that's, you know, it's just one of those things where I was like, when do we care about standards? Is it always? Because some of the managers, it's always.
Right.
And some of the managers, it's almost never. So, you know, it's like, what's the vibe? And so and that just made me mad all over again. And then I was lead server last night, right? I was Hammer. And I looked at Magic the Gathering. He got cut, I want to say, at 8:45.
Okay.
So he gets cut at 8:45. By 9:45, he still hasn't started his side work.
Yeah, that's a big problem there.
Yeah, and I look at him, and I ask the manager first, the manager on staff, can I say something to Magic the Gathering about not starting his side work? Like, am I allowed to do something like that?
Is that within the realm of things I can say?
Exactly. And the manager was, yes, of course. Great. So I look at Magic the Gathering, and he's like waiting for food on the line, and his side work was A, which is
the line.
Yeah, fixing the line and, like, restocking the line.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I really need you to start your side work. And, well, I told him that at, like, 45 minutes after he got cut. I told him, like, hey, you really need to start your side work. And he was like, yeah, once I get this food ran out, I'll go ahead and, you know, get that started. And I was like, okay, but your side work is, you know,
right in front of your face.
Yeah, I was like, it's refilling the line. Like, you can do that as you're waiting for the food. Because you'll know the minute it comes up, you're right here.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay. And then he turns around and walks out of the kitchen and stands at a POS station. And I looked at the manager. I looked at the
absolute balls.
I looked at the manager. I was like, do you love how that happened? And the manager was like, noted. And 15 minutes goes by. He still hasn't started his side work. So I look at him again and I say, Magic the Gathering, I need you to start your side work. Because standard is I can't leave until you do. So if you're going to be standing around not doing your side work, then that brings me here longer. I need you to do your side work.
And I'm already up to time with my side work as the restaurant's shutting down and as things are coming to a close. I'm getting my shit done. So what are you doing?
Exactly. And he's like...
he's waiting to not have to do silverware.
Well, this is the thing. He looks at me I say, it's standard. I can't leave until you do. And he goes, oh, well, the hammer did yesterday. And I looked at him and I said, I don't care. That's not to standard. To standard is I can't leave until you do. So you need to do your side work and you need to do it correctly and you need to do it right now.
Yeah.
You cannot wait until you are finished with all of your tables to start your side work. You need to be doing your side work and finishing your tables at the same time.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable.
Well,
and
if you
turned around and walked away.
If you can't do two things at once, then you probably shouldn't be a server at all.
Fair.
Like the entirety of my job description is doing multiple things at one time.
3 to 5 minimum.
So if you can do that while the restaurant is busy, you can do it while you have one fucking table left. Like, I don't want to hear that you're waiting for, I'm just waiting for my last table to pay out. For what? You can't watch. So start that silverware. Start that side work and then walk back out there and be like, hey guys.
You know what I do sometimes is I will start my silverware and then ask whoever's my buddy, like somebody next to me in a station, and be like, hey, can you keep an eye on this table?
Yeah.
Check is down. I'm just going to go start. I know silverware, I do it all the way in the back, and it's easier sometimes to just get it going and get it through it than to start it and then stop and then start it and then stop. So sometimes, if I'm in that mode where I'm like, I just want to knock it out, I'll ask somebody.
Yeah, somebody who's still on, hey, can you just walk past my section a
every
couple
once
of
in a while.
times and just see what's happening?
Yeah. And I'm also going to walk by every once in a while. I will stop my side work in the middle to go check on my tables really quick. But I'm always going to ask somebody like, hey, I'm going to start side work and it's way in the back. Can you just kind of keep an eye on these 2 tables that I have right now? One of them has check down, one of them's eating. And then come find me.
Sure.
If they need something, right? And they'll do. They always do.
Yeah,
Everybody's
we all
super
work
down
together really well.
Yeah,
so.
for the most part, yeah, 100%. So it's very much just like, yeah, absolutely. And they'll come to me and be like, hey, I dropped check on this table if you want to go check if they put, payment down. Or I paid out this table if you wanted to go say goodbye. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they'll do the action that needs to be done and then let me know what they did in that step so that I can assess whether or not I need to make another step on that table.
Right.
Or if I need to, do anything else. I'm always going to say goodbye to my tables. I have a very cute shtick that people fucking love when I say goodbye to my tables. So I'm going to give it to every table.
I like to give that last little bit of me before they leave.
Yeah.
So.
Every time I go up to a table, I go, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. And people love it. They love the idea that I say hanging out with me because they're like, oh my God.
We had so much fun.
She's my
Chilling.
friend.
Yeah.
And I say that every time and people love it. I have people like giggling every time I say it. Like, that's my shtick. That's what I'm going to say to every table before they leave. And I have, a thing for birthdays and, I have all of these little bits that I like to do. They make my job fun. So I want to do them. So I appreciate when people do that, just give me the heads up of like, okay, you asked me to check on them and I checked on them and this is what I did if you want to do anything else.
Yeah, here's where they are now. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So for him to just be like, well, I have 3 tables and, 2 of them are eating and 1 of them is paying. I can't leave my section. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you absolutely. And also, you shouldn't just be standing around. Like,
and that's the thing. Standing around in the kitchen waiting for food.
If people are eating and somebody is about to pay, why they don't want you looking at them? Like,
I don't want to over the partition.
I don't want to see my server while I'm eating. Like, yeah, come and check on me, make sure my food's good. Of course, 2-bite check back, everything else, right? But after that, please leave.
Leave me alone. Yeah. So, yeah, and then I did tell the manager on duty. I was like, hey, just an FYI, I said this.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, $90 says he's not going to say anything to me.
No.
What is he going to say? She told me standard.
She told me to do my job. What the fuck?
How
could she?
She informed me of what standard was.
Yeah.
How dare she? Like, yeah, so I was very like, oh, thank you. At least that was, because that really frustrated me yesterday. And it was just one of those days where I was just, oh my God, I was so angry. I was so angry. I just wanted to yell and scream at everybody. And I hit it well. Even the general manager at one point, I was telling her, like, yeah, all day today I've been feeling really, really mad at everybody. And she goes, you hit it well. You've been smiling. You know what I mean? Like, you've been interacting with your tables the exact same way I've always seen you interact with tables. Like, you've been hiding it really well. And which made me feel really good because I know that that's something that I am always actively working on.
Right.
Is my attitude towards my coworkers. My attitude towards my guests have always been like spectacular because that's how I make money. Like, I'm always going to be great with my guests. But yeah, the attitude with my coworkers is, something that I was given as a note 6 to 8 months ago, right?
Yeah,
And so
might need to be worked on.
yeah,
So.
and so it's something that I actively work on is making sure that I'm smiling when I'm talking to my coworkers, and
Right.
you know what I mean, that I'm saying things in a tone that is well received and not necessarily just
and not like shit.
hey,
Kat
you
hates
fucking
me.
idiot. Yeah, like I don't want people to think that
Pick
about
up the
me.
fucking pace.
Yeah. But yesterday it was hard to do. It was hard to do, and I slipped a little bit there in the end, but we got through it. And then today I just kind of felt the same way, like halfway through the shift. I started feeling just like really, really mad and really angry. And it got to a point where yet again, the dishwasher, I asked him, we've been told. So I don't know if I told you this. The assistant kitchen manager let us know that we need to start asking the dishwasher for silverware before the kitchen starts closing down. Which, okay, but sometimes the kitchen starts closing down 15 minutes before we're closed.
Right.
And sometimes I can't gauge when the kitchen is going to start throwing the
All
fryer,
of their fucking
their
shit at the
pans and their
dishwasher,
fryers and this and that at the dishwasher. And sometimes I don't get around to getting silverware until right at closing time because I need that last bit. You know what I mean? Like everyone's
also,
gone.
when I need my silverware is only tied into when I get cut from the floor.
Yes.
So I literally cannot ask for that silverware any earlier because one, the person who's cut before me needs it, and two, like what are you talking? Like and that's our side work. Like that's what do you mean? I need you to ask for it sooner? Sooner than what?
Yeah.
Because if I do it early, then I have management coming to me and being like, hey, you really can't be working on that right now. I need you on the floor. I need you running food. I need you doing, your active job, not your side work job.
Yeah.
So, and we've been told that numerous times. And it makes sense. Yeah, we need the people who are still on the floor.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry? Like,
yeah. But also
ask before what? Or how about he just runs it, like, concurrently, like, throughout
That's
his
my thing.
shift.
It's like, if you see that it's full, just throw it
just
through.
run it. Like, why isn't that in his eye line as well?
We
or
have
any
loads of
them,
dishwashers that do that. We do have one or two dishwashers that, because we have a total of like 4 or 5.
Right.
But we have one or two dishwashers that will just randomly start running.
Yeah, so it's just ready on the side for when we need it. Like, that's how it should go.
Yeah.
But also, if you pass over it and if you weren't aware of it or you've got, 80 other plates that you want to get to first, okay, that's fine. But then I'm going to ask you for it when I need it. Like,
Yes.
I don't need it at 6 o'clock. What the fuck are you talking about? Can we ask for it before the kitchen closes? That's when everybody gets cut from. Do you not understand side work?
No, he
Like,
doesn't.
that's
at
when
all.
I would look at him and be like, do you know when silverware needs to be rolled? Because it's not at 6 o'clock.
No.
We have all the silverware for the night.
But even then, when we're getting cut at 6 o'clock and asking this particular dishwasher, hey, can I get silverware? It will take him sometimes half an hour to 45 minutes to get that done. And I'm sorry, if you're going to hand me a little piece of paper that says I have 45 minutes to get off the clock.
Then I need everybody doing their part as well.
Right. I need that dishwasher to be running silverware through. He can't just ignore me because he doesn't like touching the icky water. I get it. It's gross.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a fucking dishwasher.
Right.
Because I don't want to touch it either.
Yeah.
You're a dishwasher.
Yeah, I couldn't do that job. Like, I give you all the credit in the world because I couldn't do it. One, it's too fucking hot back there. There's no way I could do that.
It's boiling hot all the time. Hot water. It's gross.
It's gross. Like, I get it. Like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think you should make more money. Like, I absolutely...
No, they absolutely should.
Give them all the money you want, but at the same time, I also need that stuff when I need it.
Right.
Because it's part of my job
to
get that done.
I can't leave until the silverware gets pushed through.
Right.
And if he's refusing to push it through...
If he's going to run it through last, then... Guess what? We're having a lot of people leave without getting that silverware done.
And that's something I'll never understand. You have to do it anyways. It's not like you're going to avoid doing it.
No,
you're
it
gonna have
has
to do
be
it.
done at the end of the night and then run again.
Right. So why not?
Why wait?
When somebody asks, like, just you throw it into a whole thing, like a little catch-all, and then you push it through. It's not even like you have to sort it or do anything.
Or how about just like once an
that.
hour? How about once an hour we dump that bucket? Like that was a thing at places I've worked before. Is like once an hour on the hour you do this.
Yeah.
You know, you make sure this is done. Like that's absolutely been a thing.
And tonight I asked the dishwasher before the kitchen started closing. There was maybe 3 plates on the dish.
Yeah, it was really slow at the end of the night.
And I looked at dishwasher and I said, "Hey bud, I need silverware." And he said, "Okay." 15 minutes go by, he's still not doing it. 20 minutes goes by, he's still not doing it.
And we had 2 dishwashers on tonight.
And I asked both of them. After the 15 minutes, I asked the second one, "Hey, I need silverware." He said, "Okay." And then 20 minutes goes by, nobody's doing it. 30 minutes goes by, nobody's doing it. And I looked at you and I said, if I have to ask him for silverware one more time, I'm going to fucking start screaming at him.
Yeah.
And I took
Which,
the
funny
higher
enough,
route.
your job wasn't even to do silverware tonight, so
Well, no,
you were
but
very
I
worked
asked
up.
you if
You were
needed
very
me
worked
to.
up about something you didn't have to do, and that was very confusing for me.
I asked you if you wanted me to do it, and you're like, well, how much is left?
Because
And
I didn't
was
know
like,
where you
"There's a bit."
were. I thought in her scheduled spot, silverware was not a part of her side work. There are certain people in the restaurant who don't have to roll on a given night because of the location in the restaurant they are.
Yeah,
It's how we
certain
work out.
sections, yeah.
How certain sections have different side work. That's just how it is. And I didn't know. She asked me. She comes up to me and she's like, "Bunny, do I have to roll?" Like, he. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. If there's like silverware to roll, then yeah, I need it rolled. And then an hour later, I come and find, because you're telling me that silverware hasn't been run through. You know,
yeah,
you were
getting so mad.
you were going through it, and then I fucking like, it clicks in my head. I was like, she's not even in a section that does silverware. And so I like ran out and I had to find you. I was like, don't roll that. There's no need for it. But also, yes, like, you're not wrong. The amount of times that I have said, hey, can I get those wine glasses? Hey, can I get those wine glasses? Hey, can I get those wine glasses? Why am I asking 4 times for a rack of wine glasses? It takes you 5 seconds.
You pull it down and you put it through. You
you put it
literally
through.
don't even have to rinse it out or anything.
No,
Like, he
just
doesn't have
put
to
it through.
spray it down.
You don't even have
nothing.
to bring it out to the floor for me. I'll come and get it from you. I promise.
Yeah.
Because I want to get that shit done so that I can get out of here.
Yeah, I'm standing
We
right
all
here.
want to leave, and we all want this stuff to get done. The priority is just not like, and like I said, there's certain things that the servers need to leave.
Yes.
The dishwasher has to stay to wash all the dishes regardless
Yeah.
of
So
when they run through.
you're never gonna get out of doing some not doing a certain type of dish.
Yeah, and
that
if
you
this
don't
is
wanna
like a
do.
weird vendetta thing, then it's like, what did I do to you? Like, at what
Right.
point did I upset you? And how can I fix it? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, but I did take the high road. I went into the manager's office and I was like, I can't ask him again because I'm not going to ask nicely. I'm going to start screaming in the kitchen if he doesn't get that fucking silverware
Yeah.
through.
Well, I've done it with the ramekins because those, that's the last thing that the dishwashers across the board will
Yes.
do. All of the dishwashers.
And that one-
wait till the very end to run, which
I'm
is
going to
fine.
devil's advocate it a little bit. I kind of get it because they do have to sort those out. They have to flip them all upside down,
They
make
have
them.
to put a rack over the top. I
it's
get
a
that
lot
it's a
more
process.
intensive.
I understand that it's a process. However, I need that before I can leave.
Yeah, true.
Whether I am the side work that needs to do ramekins or I'm the closer.
Yeah.
When I'm the closer, I still need that shit done. So currently we have one dishwasher that will put them back out when he's done.
Yeah.
Great, love that. But if that's not him working, please run
We're
the
fucked,
ramekins.
yeah.
Please run the ramekins. Please run the ramekins. Please, for the love of God, run the fucking ramekins.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm begging.
Teach
I'm
you-
on my hands
like,
and knees
I'll-
in this broken
I'll
glass.
head over to Crumble and I will get you a cookie if that helps. Like, what can I do to get this shit done? Because, like I
Yeah.
said, it's your job either way.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna have to get done either way.
Yeah.
So that is frustrating, and I'm very sorry.
And then you had some issues tonight with your section.
Yeah, it was, so we didn't have any large parties. So the large party table that goes to the closer wasn't available for me to have because we didn't have even a 6-top on the books.
Right.
So there wasn't even a party of 6 that could be sat at this table that can sit up to 8. And so it was like, yeah, we just don't have anything to put there. Okay, that's fine. So that leaves me with my 3 tables in my assigned section. Not the end of the world, except I had this older couple that camped for forever. Like, well, I dropped check, they paid. And here's the other weird thing about it. So I dropped the check, and then I went to go handle a couple of things, and then I ran some food, because there was food ready to run for, like, everybody else. And then I come back, and the lady's like, yeah, here, take the check, like, kind of urgently. So I was like, oh my God. I take it, I hit the very closest terminal to that table, I run the check, and I set it back down. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you. We appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. Have a wonderful night. An hour later, they fucking leave. An hour! And, like, okay, like, normally I do not give 2 shits if somebody wants to camp a little back. Like, hey, you guys are having great conversation, whatever. That's part of my job, too, is, like, do you want more water? You know, like, there's other things that I can do to keep you happy while you're still here. Just because you've paid me doesn't mean that my job is done with you.
True.
And that's fine. But you seem so urgent about this payout. Like, can you please pay us out? And then thanked me, you know, profusely that I paid you out.
Yeah.
And then you hang back for an hour?
And
So
left you with a 2-table
That left me
section.
with a 2-table section. And so for at least that hour while the other 2 tables were there, I got nothing.
Yeah, as the
I
lead
didn't-
server, you had a 2-table section.
Yeah, I had nothing happening. And then for the rest of the night, I got the 2 tops. It was 2 top to me, 4 top to you. 2 top to me, 4 top to gorgeous, 6 top to you, 4 top to gorgeous, 2 top to me, 2 top to me. And that's when I went to the manager and I was like, so can we like talk about head count? Can head count be a thing so that way we're at least averaging out the same?
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about it earlier. Like, I had 10 more guests than you, but I had 12 more checks printed than you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a ton of split checks tonight. That's not what it was. It was I just had 2 tops.
I had 1 split check, so I had 7 checks all night.
And
that
5
was
tables.
5 tables. No,
6
I
tables.
had more than
6
5
tables.
6 tables. I had 6 tables all night.
Yeah.
You had 12.
More. I had 19 in total.
19
And
tables.
I had 1 split check, so I had 18 tables.
You had 18 tables, and you...
So I had 13 more tables than you.
And you made barely more than I did.
Right.
Our sales were fairly similar.
Fairly close, because I'm just... And by the end of the night, yeah, everybody else is cut. And so I'm finally... My section opens up to 2 top after 2 top after 2 top
Yeah.
after 2. And it's like, I get it. With walk-ins, you can't really, like... You can't gauge that, you know? Because with reservations, you can be like, okay, this 4 top goes here, this 4 top goes there. That makes sense.
I guess, but also if head count was a part of the training for the host
Right.
stand, then
So
they
if the
would-
last person just got a 6 top, give me 2 tops in a row then, you know, or a 2 top and a 4 top.
Yeah.
Or better yet, like I said, just skip me in rotation the next round and hope that
If
a
it-
bigger
yeah.
party comes in after that. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's not necessarily like a perfect way to go about it. Like, that's not lost on me. But also, if you can look and see, like, oh, Kat's had, 30 guests up to this point and Bunny's had 25, but our table counts are so much different. Just give me a 5 top.
Yeah. I mean, and that's all in their system. That's on the tablet that they're looking at is head count. And
Directly in front of them.
Yeah, so it's all right there. It's
Before
just not
they
something
seat a
that's-
server, it shows exactly how many people we currently have in our section and how many people we have had overall for the whole night.
Yeah.
That is right there before you seat anybody. It's directly in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, at other concepts in our company, it is standard for the host to be trained on head count to keep it as even as possible, because that
Yeah.
just makes sense. More people means more entrees ordered,
Yeah,
usually.
but our location has never really made a whole lot of sense. It's
No.
kind of why we started this podcast.
It's kind of why we have so much shit to talk about.
It's like the concept of the podcast.
Right. So, little bit of a positive note, though, a little bit of a win for me. So a long time ago, years and years ago, when I started with the company, and for a while afterwards, in our beverage station where we get our sodas and our water and everything, we have the ice well that is attached to the soda machine,
Yes.
and a second ice well that was closer to where the water faucet is, where we get all the waters for tables, and we used to fill both of them throughout the week.
Yes.
And then for a little while, we started doing the second one only on the weekends. And it's like, okay, that makes sense, because a lot of the time during the week, we're just burning that extra ice. And
Yeah,
it does,
especially like during the day when you have 3 servers
yeah,
on.
no,
Like,
we
how
don't
much are
need
you
we
really
don't need
getting into
2
shit this
full
way?
ice wells on a Wednesday afternoon. You
Yeah.
know, I get that. So then we just used it on the weekends. Okay, great. Well, then when we got our newest GM, she said, "No, you can't have
Yeah.
that. You can't have that second ice well." And I said, "What?" And she goes, "You can't have it." And I was like, "Why?" And the reason I was given, this was almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
The reason I was given almost 2 years ago was, well, other locations don't have a second ice well in their beverage station, so we can't use this one.
Which is
What?
such nonsense, because
What?
the amount of things that when I was bartending for 2 years, full-time bartending at this location, the amount of things that other places had
That we don't.
that we don't, and I asked regionals for them, I asked management for them, I asked the director for them, I asked so many people for certain items behind the bar because, hey, this is standard at other places and we don't have it, and it's actually something that like we kind of need. Things like ice to keep our fruit garnishes
Cold throughout the
like,
night.
we
Right.
keep our garnishes not on ice,
Right, just in
which
jars.
is not good for fruit.
Right. I mean, if we're using them just for the night, I guess, but sometimes they're supposed to last 2 days, you know? Or
Yes.
they're supposed to last at least from the morning till the night. And they
Yes.
don't really.
And
you
sometimes
know?
they don't, because on a hot day,
Right.
and the AC's always bugging. We can't put the AC lower than 76. It gets hot in the bar, especially
Right.
if there's a lot of people in there. Now, you're looking at really hot strawberries sitting in a jar, not on ice. And I've never worked in a place that kept their garnishes that little black thing.
Oh,
that
always,
has
yeah,
the
the little
slips that go
lid
into
that
it. Yes.
pulls up and down, always. And you fill the ice consistently throughout your shift.
Yes, I've
Not a big deal.
never. You want to put them in jars, that's fine. Other locations have a specific thing where bartenders put ice in there, and
And
then
you
they
put
put
the
the
jars
jars
in the ice.
to keep the garnishes cold. other locations have that, so why don't we have that?
Why
I
don't
got
we
so
have
many
that?
people for
And
that.
also, why are they allowed to use it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for you to be given the reason
That was the reason. It was other locations don't have a second ice well, so we can't use ours. And I said, okay, so you want this big, square, empty area to just have lids on it and be a counter space. You just want us to use it as counter space instead for literally zero fucking reason at all. And so when I was told that 2 years ago, my response was, okay, well, other locations had a cappuccino machine and we didn't, but they got to use it. Because we only got our cappuccino machine like 2 fucking years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, they, numerous other locations had the cappuccino machine. How come they were able to use that?
Maybe that's why we got the cappuccino machine.
But they had it for years before we did.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to use that. How come? How come it didn't just sit there collecting dust like this now fucking ice well sat for 2 fucking years empty? And I get, it's just so, okay, so a party of 12 comes in, right? And it's a busy Saturday night and your whole job is to get water to that party of 12. You now need to wait for every single person who needs to get soda at that very moment or their waters or whatever else before you can even start filling glasses with ice because you don't have access because we can only have so many people in the beverage station.
Yeah. It's 2, I think, is the standard, right?
2
people, which is great. Like, that's nuts.
But before, it was very easy. It very much was that ice well was to fill water glasses because you were closest to the water spigot. So you would just fill your ice and you would get your waters. And guess what? Now your table's been started and you have interfered with nobody else's business.
Yep.
You have not gotten in anybody's way and you're not taking up the ice scoop or you're not getting you're not reaching over anybody. It was never a fucking problem.
Never.
It was never a goddamn problem. Ever. And then, it was, no, we can't use it anymore. And I hated that. I hated it for so long. So then obviously management changes hands consistently all the time. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So with the current staff of management that we have, and GM included, she's willing.
She's still with us.
Yeah, she's still with us and now more willing to hear things than I think when she started. It was just very much, no, it's this way. I do feel like, there's a lot more willingness to bend. You know?
I think now, because this is her first general manager job. She was a senior manager, but this is the first location where she's been a general manager. So I think when she came in, she was very much like, she didn't necessarily need to prove herself, but she felt that, kind of vibe of no, I need to be strict. I need to do this, especially coming into a location where she's probably been told it's a problem.
Right. And also, nobody knows me here. I need to put my feet down and that's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. However, so with the new management team, I brought it up and I was like, because they're asking us, what are some things that we can do to make it better to work here? What are some things that we can give you guys so that you feel more, backed by your management team and this and that, right? So I went to management 2 weeks ago and I said, I want the second ice well. That's what I want. If you want to know what I want the second ice well. I don't need it during the week. I want it on Friday and Saturday nights. That's when I want it. Can we have it? To which I was told by one manager, I'll discuss it with the rest of the management team. And by the other manager, I was told, yeah, we're going to do that next Friday. And I said, that's fucking amazing. Thank you. Yeah. But that was 2 weeks ago. So then last Friday, I walk in, there's no ice in that ice well. And so I said, hey, the fuck? I thought we were going to do this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Can we, just give me... There was so many days in which I was like, I'm just going to fill it. I'm just going to fill it.
At one point, yeah.
Who's going to know? Who's going to know? It has a lid on it. You close it. It's a metal lid. You can't see through it.
Yeah.
It has a lid. I was going to close it and just be like, what are you talking about? What? I didn't put that there. What are you talking about?
That was
that's weird.
I didn't bring 4 things of ice back here. What are you talking about?
I certainly didn't do that when you weren't looking. What?
You didn't see nothing.
So finally today, I was told, hey, as soon as I got there by the server manager, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, what do I need to do before I can fill this with ice? I was like, you got to clean it out. Because it gets coffee grinds fall in there and other shit falls in there because it's got cracks on the side or whatever. I'm like, you got to clean it out. He goes, okay, I'm going to clean it out. I'm going to fill it right now. And I said, I would fucking love that. I would love that so much. And he's like, yeah, for you, I'm going to do that. And I was like, aww. I love that. So we did that. And then before we did our pre-shift for the rest of the team, it was like, hey, so you can tell everybody about the ice. And I was like, oh, I've already told people. I've been telling people.
You're like, this is the most exciting thing that's happened
I put a little note on it.
I saw that.
And my note said, I'm back, meaning the ice well.
Yeah.
I'm back. Use me for quick water fills, because that's what it was for. We always had one rack of glasses there, just quick in and out, and we did it, and it was fine. And then at the end of the night, did we have a shit ton of leftover ice? No. We just
No,
had,
we used most of it,
because
yeah.
towards the end of the night, you just stop filling the ice because now we have 2 ice wells to
The
pull
main
from.
ice, yeah.
So it's like, we'll figure it out, you know? But, so like I said, a little bit of a win. It was like, hey, I said something and it happened.
I mean,
and that's really nice. Like,
yeah.
did it take 2 fucking years? It did. However,
it happened. At the end of the day, it happened. We're going to take
so
the win.
don't let
where it is.
anybody tell you that bitching about something for 2 years won't get you what you want. Is really all I'm hearing here. Like, really all I'm getting out of this is just keep bitching. Like,
I mean,
keep it up, bunny. Keep up that bitch.
We've had a couple of wins. Let's talk about, for just a quick second, the meeting that we had with all the lead servers.
Yes, lead server meeting happened a couple weeks ago.
And they asked the lead servers, like, what can we do to make it more enticing to
Appealing.
be a lead server? Like, because we had some lead servers dropping like flies. They didn't
we
wanna
lost
do it
2
anymore.
back to back.
Yeah, because the section issue that we talked about last season and like how bad that was, and just the different things that they were like trying to move everything around to make it more. I'm not sure if it was maybe to standard to other locations.
No,
or
more
if it
just
was
to
just fair.
incentivize it. Like, hey, what's gonna make it worth your while?
No. I mean, when they were moving originally, when they were moving all the sections around.
Oh, that was to standard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 table sections and things like that. We were just going to standard.
But I also think that some of that was like, well, we want to make it more fair for other servers as well.
Sure.
Like, not just, the stronger servers, whatever. And like, that's fine, I guess. But also, like, you have strong servers for a reason. And it's
Right, you're
because they're
asking me to
strong
be
servers.
here first and to leave last. And if I'm not making more money, then what's the point? You know? And that's
Exactly.
what we all said across the board. It's like, then why am I here longer? I'm also feeling the same way that the lead servers that dropped out felt. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm only doing more work and not getting paid more, like, that's just fucking basic economics. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, you have to do a lot more work, but you might make more than other people. You might
Maybe.
not. You might not. Most nights you won't.
Yeah.
So then fuck you. Put me over there.
Yeah.
I'll come in at 5:30. I would love to get here at 5:30 instead of 4.
Yeah.
I would love to leave at fucking 9 o'clock. Are you kidding me? Have a Friday night where I'm out of the restaurant at 9 o'clock? Great.
Yeah.
Love that. That doesn't happen for us.
So they sat down with all the lead servers and say, like, what would not only incentivize you guys, right, to want to stay as lead servers, but what do you think
bring other people
would make other people want to be a lead server? Because I think that was an issue too, is obviously lead servers
Nobody
were
wants to do it.
complaining a lot about, the issues that were happening, and other people were like, I don't want to
do that.
awful. Yeah. So there was nobody on the floor that like aspired to be a lead server. And
whereas when I started with the company, you did.
Yeah.
It was like, well, yeah, I want that section. I want that extra table. I want that, extra time on the floor.
Yeah. And one of the things that came out of that was now 1 free meal a week.
Also my doing.
Yeah.
I'm on fire. And that was a half-assed offer.
Throwout. Yeah.
That
was
was
just
they kept asking us, and they were like, but what would help you guys feel better? Like, what would make you happier to be here? And I was like,
said a bigger section.
Yeah,
and
always.
They shut me down
No, they
so
shut you
quick.
down immediately. They're like, no.
They're like, fuck you.
We already gave you that one big table that you sometimes get, and
they were like,
and we cut people a little earlier. Like, I will give it to them. They are cutting.
They cut so aggressively.
A lot more
sometimes.
aggressively.
Sometimes it's a little too aggressive. I'm gonna be honest.
Sometimes I turn around. I'm like, so nobody's here.
So it's just me. Okay.
Yeah, great. I mean, can I handle? Probably, but like, what if I can't?
But also, if standard is only 4 tables, then
what are you doing?
Yeah, why are you doing this?
But yeah, so more tables, no. And then
here's
so
5 when you clock in. Okay.
But no more than 4 once everyone else gets here. Cut it out.
Ridiculous.
But then and I was like, I don't know, can we have like 1 free meal a week? Like, and that was like, I thought that was a stretch. I was like, I don't even know if they're gonna go for this, because like, obviously you can't have a free meal every day. I get that. Managers get a free meal every day. That makes sense. It's built into their freaking pay, right? So okay, that makes sense. But I was like, I don't know, can we just have like, can we have 1 free meal a week? Like, I don't know. And then here we are.
Yeah.
And now we get 1 free lead server meal a week. Whether you're lead that night or not, you can cash in on it. So that's cool. I haven't used mine yet this week. I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to use mine yesterday, and then I didn't. But yeah.
I got sides today, so I'm glad.
I wouldn't waste it on sides.
There's no way. I just got 2 sides. Like, there's no point. But yeah, so I have 3 more days to cash in on that, and that'll be great for when I'm starving on shift and maybe I'm not making the money I wanted and I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
That feels great. And also, it is in the book where everybody can see it.
Yeah, so it'll incentivize other people now understand.
Yeah.
Also, another thing for lead servers is they only get the lounge section, the bar section, and the lead server section, the hammer section. So there is no more people that aren't hammers getting those lounges.
Right.
Like, you know, they were, because a lot of people were getting lounge sections who didn't have any aspirations to move up to hammer or to, you know what I mean? Like, do anything else. They
Right.
were just very happy with their cocktail waitress
Right.
sections or their,
Well, and
you know,
when I started with the company, or at least with this location anyways, that's how it was when I started. It was only the closers got to be in those slightly bigger, better stations.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the lounge section does have, like, they try to make it so there's only 4, like, assigned tables, but
Right.
also there are the 2 self-seating sections, which when we get busy enough, people are
sit
going
there.
to sit
Yeah.
themselves there. So now you are looking at 6 tables sometimes. And, you know, stronger servers were being put into the lounge sections. They weren't servers that were, like, brand new.
Yeah,
It's like
so
a very
that's
fluffy key.
nice too. Also, like I like that? I do. Because that guarantees us the
bigger
stations that we
sections,
know that are better, right? I like that.
Since there's only, what, like 4 or 5
Right.
lead servers,
But that
means
but that also falls on us to getting our shifts covered. It has
it's
to
going to
be
be
us.
rough. Yeah.
So if you can't cover my shift, and if, you know, the other people who have been with us as lead servers can't cover that shift, well, then what? You know?
Yeah.
And so that I feel like we might run into some issues there, but for the most part, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I just think that it is one of those things where, I mean, I walked in on a server being, like, really upset that she wasn't going to get lounge sections anymore because she's not a lead server.
Right.
So now maybe that will incentivize her to want to
Yeah.
be a lead server, and she'll get the, you know, the hammer and the lounges, and, you know, so I
Sure.
do see how that could make people want to be hammers.
Yeah.
Where right now we don't have anybody
No.
that wants to be a hammer, that wants to move up to that.
Right.
So
Because it's more work, and it's also more shifts, you know, and not everybody wants more shifts. I don't know why.
I only want to work. I would love to just work 2 shifts a week. If that was my life, I'd be fucking stoked.
Yeah, if I could afford that, but I
Yeah,
can't.
I have a husband to pay my bills.
That's great. But-
He's my work.
Yeah.
I do nothing for him, but he is my job.
But you don't help out at all.
I do nothing. He just pays for me. And I'm like, okay, bye. I'm going to go have drinks with my friends.
Yeah, I'm going to go spend all the money I just made. Thank you so much.
But yeah, I mean, personally, that's the job that I would love to have. But as of right now, I am working 4 or 5 shifts a week, and it is nice to have that little bit extra. So, you know, I don't hear him stressing about
Right.
money and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, when I first started with this company and I was working 2 shifts, it's like, oh, only working 2 this week.
Oh,
Bummer.
what a bummer.
And it's like,
I
oh, no.
wouldn't be able to pay my bills. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
positive changes at least are coming
Yeah.
about for now. We'll see how that goes in the future.
I mean, yeah, we'll see how they play out. And I think, you know, my mood should hopefully even out the next day or 2. This full moon's killing me. And I started my
Yeah,
period.
and
so just the 2 things together, not Shark Week and the full moon. Oof.
Back to
That's
back.
not a vibe, yeah.
So, officially today. Well, now today, because it's tomorrow.
Right.
Right. Officially today, I've been with the company for 4 years.
Oh,
So I got,
congrats.
thank you very much. So for every year that we're with the company, we get a little gift card, right?
Right.
For $10 per year that you've been there,
Great.
which is very nice.
I don't think I've ever gotten a gift card.
For your first year, you didn't get $10?
No.
Oh, you're
I just got a little pin.
Oh no, sorry. So the first year's the pin,
Mm-hmm.
and the second year you get 20, and the third year you get the sweater, and the fourth
Okay.
year you get 40, and then the fifth year you get the watch.
Okay.
So there's something like every other year or whatever.
Got it.
Okay, so anyways, not the point. The point was I got my little gift card with my $40 on it. And then I was like, great. And so that night I wanted food. And so I was like, well, cool. I don't have to pay for it. Because with it, you know, you buy your food as the employee, and then you get the employee 50% off. And then you can use this card to pay for that, right? And so I'm like, cool, I got $40. That's probably like 3 or 4 meals, right?
Right.
With the 50% off. So I was like, great. So I get my food, and then the manager comps it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I want to pay with this. But
With this, my little thing, I'm going to play
so we no longer have the like gift card system that we used to have.
with this. Right.
So now we can run gift cards like the gift cards that are given to guests. We can run those for the guests. But we can't run the like secondary, they were like complimentary cards, right? We can't run those anymore because we don't have that system anymore.
Great.
And so this card counts as like one of those complimentary cards. And so this is what I was told anyways. So I said, hey, I want to pay with this. And our manager, bar manager, said, oh, So I just actually have to close that out. Like, I just have to, like, pay it as, like, a manager meal or whatever, because we don't have that system anymore. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, so because we don't use the same system for our electronic gift cards anymore, or whatever it is that we changed, we can't run that anymore. I was like, so you're telling me that I have $40 on a card that I can't use?
Yeah, why did you give it to me?
Why are they still? And he's like, yeah, well, they're just still sending them out, like, from corporate. They're just still sending them out. And I was like, so I can't use it? He's like, well, you can use it, but I just have to like clear the check, you know, like, not, he doesn't like delete the items off of it or anything. It's still like he closes them out, but for $0, you know?
Right. So,
And I'm all, okay, like, that's great. So I walked around, like, for the next 2 days, and I'm like, so I've got, you know, like, I spent $11, so I was like, well, I've got, you know, fucking $29 on this card, I think.
maybe, yeah.
But also, does it still have $40 on it? Like, where's that $40 go? Like, I have no idea. It's in my server book right now. And so I did this little dance of like, well, I want more food. So I bought more food, and then it was like, well, you got to close it out. So I ran it with host manager, right? And I was like, hey, I want to pay with this card, but I was told I can't. He's like, no, let's run it. And so we hit the like redeem card button, right? Which is like off to the side. And I swipe the card, and the fucking computer breaks.
Oh no.
It shuts down. It just stops working. It didn't just shut down. It like went blue screened. And I'm all, what? And he looks at me, he's like, what did you do?
No.
And I was like, me? You pressed the button. I didn't press the button. I just swiped my fucking card. And now it's like denied. Like, and the whole fucking thing shuts
my
down.
God. What have you done?
And so once we got it fucking rebooted, it was just this terminal, but once we got it rebooted, he just paid for the meal, right? Like,
right, I'm not touching anything else after that.
Oh my God, I'm never swiping this card again. Shut the fuck up. And so then a couple days later, GM was in, and somebody comes up with one of those cards. And a guest had it, right? So a guest was from another concept or whatever, and they had their card, and they want to know how much was on it. And the server didn't know how to check how much was on it. And so GM was like, oh, I'll go check it for you. And I looked at her and I said, you might not want to swipe that card.
Don't touch it.
I'm just letting you know that you might not want to swipe that. She's all, why? And I was like, because you can't run them anymore because we don't have that button. She goes, I have that button, but you don't.
Oh.
And I went, what? And she's like, yeah, I have the ability to run that card. You guys just don't. Like, servers cannot run these types of specialty cards anymore. And I'm all, oh, you might want to tell that to server manager, host manager, bar manager,
to your team,
to the rest of your team. And she's like, yeah, they just don't know about it. And I'm over here like, I have a $40 card. I have this card with $40 that I haven't used at all.
Never once. I never once got food. What are you talking about?
So can you run this for me?
I got food earlier.
I got food today. So that was just funny. But I spent like a week thinking, great. So you here.
Why would my
congratulations
office send me this?
Yeah, congratulations, Bunny. You get $40. Oh, thank you so much. Can I use it? No.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'd like to use it here where you're allowing me to use it. No. The fuck? In fact, it's going to break the whole system. What are you talking about? Why would you want to use it? Ew. What's wrong with you?
Why would you want to use one of those gross old cards? Thanks, corporate. Yeah, I've been with the company a total of, I think, over 3 years. I came in 2021.
Yeah, because you hit a year and change, right? Before you left and then you came back.
Yeah, so the problem is when I left and came back, it reset.
Yeah, it starts over.
So
yeah, that happened with one of our other lead servers too, how she left and came back. And then it was like, oh, you had 7 years under your belt now. Well, now you have 3 months. Now you have 3 months.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So I got I got a second pin.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
That you don't wear.
Well, I lost it. I lost my first one too. I was very upset about it.
Mine's in my change, like my center console change thing, and I keep forgetting to put it on.
Good place to put it.
It's right there. Anytime I want it, it's there.
No, I lost both pins. Very upset about it. And then, I've never hit.
So upset about it. I lost one, and then when I got the second one, I said, "Fuck this shit." Oh no, I lost it again.
And I've never made it to 2 like full years, like, consecutive to get the gift card yet.
It's a $20 gift card.
And yeah, I was really upset because I did want that sweater. It seems like a really comfy sweater.
So I got the
I'm not
sweater.
gonna get it.
I don't know where it is.
You lost the sweater?
The sweater.
I lost the pins. Those are easy to lose.
I was so happy to get it too. And you want to know when I got it? When I had this car. So
it's the one that you're currently using.
The one that I'm currently using, and that's where like I stored a lot of shit, was just in my car, right? And so I got it, and I was like, fuck yeah, and I tossed it in the back of my car. I don't know where it is.
God.
I'm assuming it's in my garage.
Maybe.
I'll find out when I move. To be fair, it's just a crew neck sweater. And I was led to believe that it was like a cooler sweater than it was. Because like everybody's like, I got the sweater, right? And it just seemed like this cool swag to have, like, for the company.
I just think it looks really comfy. I want to wear it around the house.
It's just a blue crew neck. Like, go buy one from Millennium Outlet. Like, it costs you like $15.
What if I want to rep the restaurant?
Here's my problem with it, though. It has, like, because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's going to have, like, this cool big logo on it, right?
No, it's got the smallest logo
it
right
has
in the corner.
Tiniest little, like, pocket logo.
Yeah.
And nothing on the back. I thought it was going to have a bigger logo on the back, because I had never seen one other than somebody, like, putting it in their bag.
Right.
So I had only ever seen, like, that front logo, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah, like, that's cool. No, it's just this tiny little logo, and there's nothing on the back, and I'm like, oh.
You can never make me hate the sweater.
No, it's dumb.
I've never.
It's dumb, and I lost it.
I can't wait for mine.
It's dumb, and I hate it. Also, apparently, they don't always ask you what size you want. Sometimes
That's ridiculous.
They just give you a size they think you want.
No, I want an extra large.
I think I got a large is what they ended up giving me, because like they were out of mediums or whatever. But also I was like, yeah, it can be a little baggy. Like, that's not a big deal. One of the very petite girls that we used to work with was given like a large. And she was very upset about it. Because,
was she really?
Oh, she swam in it. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, it was your great-grandfather's sweater that you wear to bed. Like,
That's what I want. I am a size medium in everything.
Cool, they're going to give you a small.
I'm going to be so mad.
Skin tight.
No, I want an extra large. I want to be swimming in it. I want to just, I want to wear it to bed. I want to wear it around my house. I want it to go down to mid-thigh.
I don't believe it. You're going to lose it.
How dare you?
Hang on to that shit. You're going to throw it in the trash.
I'm going to have it for the next 13 years.
Specifically, and then lose it?
Maybe. That's not your fucking business.
It's 13 years from now. Hold on.
You're going to put an alarm?
Yeah.
Alexa.
2037. Where is Kat's sweater? That's it. No, I'm putting it in right now. You gonna make it to 3 years? Let's see.
To be fair.
Now?
Yeah. I don't know if we don't get that remodel next year. I might not make it to 3.
I mean, I start with the company, right? And they tell you, like, oh, you get a sweater, then you get a watch.
It's like the big thing that they tell you about, yeah.
So 15 years, I think, is like a leather jacket or something.
I thought it was luggage. Or is that 10 years?
Maybe 10 years is a leather jacket then. But anyways, there was a leather jacket that existed, right? But they don't make them anymore.
Oh,
so now they're replacing that with like something else, which like isn't like it's as good in a sense, because I think it's like an Amazon gift card for like a decent amount of money. And so it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'd rather have money to spend on whatever I want than a leather jacket with the logo. But all I could think is like, what's the leather jacket look like?
Yeah, I want to see it.
I'm over here like, I didn't even know there was a leather jacket.
Oh, there's only like 1 or 2 people that work with us that have been there over 10 years.
You should ask.
I don't speak their language.
Yeah, we knew tonight when you yelled at everybody.
I just yelled at one person.
In total, I think that was my week, really. I had a really awkward week. I like worked 2 days, off 2 days, worked 2 days, off another 2 days. Like,
yeah.
It was a very strange work week for me.
My week was chill, other than just getting fucking mad at everybody.
Other than your own personal issues.
Yeah, other than the moon.
That's a fucking moon. Get out of here.
Just flipping off the moon.
Everybody's in a bad mood yesterday, it seems.
Lovely.
I'm just over here like, can we all just get along?
I love having things in common with your boyfriend. Well, you ready to check out?
I am ready to check out.
Let's get out of here. I gotta come back tomorrow morning.
Duh. Gross. Why do you always work in the morning?
I know. It's obnoxious.
Stop it. What time are you on?
11:30.
No, still dumb. All right.
Well, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.